chocolate shop.
There's a classic spot called the Chocolate Shop.
I would say chocolate shop on State Street.
I'm at the chocolate shop, so it's only right that I try it. But the flavor of this is called this just got serious. With chunks.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into.
Good morning, everyone. We have made it to day 3. We are up, showered, and ready to go to this DKMS event. I'm excited to talk to stem cell donors and recipients about the impact that these donations made on their lives. It's definitely a big one, and I'm definitely going to have some interesting conversations today. But for now, I got to finish getting my stuff together, get out of this room, and hit the road. We got another rainy one out there, unfortunately, here in Madison, Wisconsin. Kind of unfortunate, but we press on. All right, so I just pulled up to the address for the DKMS event, and it looks like I'm at a park, and there's not a whole lot of people here, so hopefully I'm at the right place. But I saw a few people standing out there. I'm gonna get out, talk to them, find out the deal with everything, and if I am at the right place, we'll get started. Found it.
I've always been the medical science person. I had a cousin who had 2 double lung transplants, so I knew about it even from a young age. I got the opportunity to register when I was in my first year of grad school. They came to my pharmacy school, enlisted everyone. Never really thought I'd get the call, but I guess 5 years after that, I randomly got a call, I think, or an email saying that I was a potential match and they wanted to do more lab work. Did the lab work, waited for a month or 2 and found out I was a match, and then signed the consent forms, kind of organized the thing, and just went with it. It was a pretty quick, easy, simple process. They just walked me through the whole thing. It was so long ago, I don't know if it was a mouth swab or something like that. It was super simple, took a minute or 2, honestly. Very similar to donating blood, you just get a little bit of IV, and it just takes a little bit longer. So you just got to sit there and, relax. Bring your iPad, bring a book or something. It wasn't hard, wasn't painful. It was nice, easy. Always kind of wanted to do that. I would say it's almost on my bucket list. That's what I went into the medical community, was to help people. So it did give me that sense of knowing that I really did, help someone, not for something in return. I didn't know who it was, my recipient was. I just knew I was kind of adding good to the world. So I feel good that I, gave someone a second opportunity to enjoy life.
I became ill in the fall of 2022. I was told that I had a rare form of leukemia, lymphoma.
We're gonna meet Garrett at some point today. How excited are you for that moment, and what do you want to say to him when you meet him?
I'll probably cry. I've been feeling like I'm gonna cry, just watching to see if I see him come in. So, I'm really, really, thankful that he decided to be a donor and that, everything worked out so well. I wouldn't be here without his, him deciding to be a donor.
It's so nice.
It all went through the hospital. Once I was diagnosed with leukemia.
I was first diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
It was kind of interesting when I was first diagnosed and I came to Madison. It was explained that I would need a donor. And
I waited a few months and I was getting very anxious. Finally, I learned about my donor. And so she was in her early 30s. We surmised from just guessing and just little things is that she lived in Colorado.
My donor took quite a while to find because of the markers that I needed. And it probably took 6 months. And I went through the process of getting prepared for that by having 2 rounds of chemo, and then when I came down to Madison, they gave me another round of chemo. So
they found somebody, I believe in Georgia, a young man, and I got his cells. It was like almost a perfect match, and it just worked.
Well, I don't really know that how it turned out to be my own match, but my doctors, my oncologists and everything, when I wasn't, the chemo wasn't getting the aggressive cells, they went to the stem cell transplant team and they researched, and then they must have did blood tests and whatnot to know that I was able to use my own cells.
Well, it was supposed to be 60 days from the time that they took my cells. It ended up being 90 days, but that was fine. It worked out well, and then after they put them back into me, they went to work right away. I could feel it for about a week. I could feel that something was happening. It's hard to put into words. It's better than I could have imagined after going through other unsuccessful treatments. And then to find one that worked that well is just amazing. And to get my life back as it was and be able to carry on with my life as I hoped it would be is just phenomenal.
I remember getting them harvested, and about a month later I went back and I had them put back in. But I had 8 rounds of chemo, and on my 7th round I had gotten an infection, and I was scheduled to get my my blood cells harvested, my stem cells harvested, and I went into ER to get this, and then they admitted me, and I'm going, oh, this is going to screw up my stem cell harvest. But then I was getting over that infection, and the stem cell team come in, well, we can do your harvest. So I was able to go down and get my stem cells harvested that day. Then I was released a couple days later, and I went back, had my final chemo. Then when I went back in, I had my stem cells really put back in.
Everybody needs to meet their donor because it completes the circle of life, and you have to do it. It's part of your story, and it's the culmination. You got to meet your donor.
It wasn't easy, but it wasn't that bad. So glad they've worked to improve the process.
Lauren, the transplant coordinator, she put me in the system, and within like 2 weeks had a match for me. Right away, they reached out and he agreed to do it.
Began my treatment, and so then through UW, they're the ones that start looking for the donor.
Having some low-grade fevers, but that was actually very exciting, very positive. And by the time I had my first scan at 30 days, there was no detectable disease, which was way better than we were told to expect. It was pretty amazing.
I've been a nurse on B66 for 8.5 years, and now currently I'm in the care team leader position. So I'm not necessarily taking care of patients as much anymore, but I'm more of a resource on the unit.
I've been a nurse on the inpatient oncology unit for about 4 years now. So I do bedside nursing and help people through the transplant process, and then also with some of the newer therapies that we started doing.
So I actually work in this cell therapy lab, so we meet all the couriers and transfer the product to our lab, and then we're doing any processes we need to do on the product before bringing it up to the transplant floor. So the B66 nurses don't have a lot of interaction with DKMS. It's mostly the cell therapy lab and collections down in the infusion center that we collect for NFDP.
I'm one of the bone marrow transplant physicians. I am approaching 9 years of being a senior physician and doing this work. I've had a lot of the role in taking care of the patients with leukemia and aplastic anemia and a condition called MDS, and doing a lot of the allogeneic transplants as well as taking care of myeloma patients. I mean, we are constantly interacting with DKMS because I'm one of the doctors who does a fair number of the donor transplants, so we are constantly looking for donors, and DKMS is one of our main sources for donors for our patients who don't have a matched sibling or a related donor.
Definitely stem cell transplant is a life-saving measure for these patients. So without donors joining the DKMS registry and giving their time and their cells, these patients might not have a lot of time to live. So their blood cancers, if not treated, and one of the treatments for cure is a stem cell transplant, then they wouldn't have that opportunity without DKMS and the donors that they recruit.
We register people as potential stem cell donors, so when someone is diagnosed with blood cancer or blood disorder and told they need a transplant, it can be kind of like a scary thing because how do you know someone out there is registered? And so that's our goal, is to get as many people registered so that those patients do have a chance. So registering is really easy. It just takes a quick cheek swab and filling out information. And then matching is based on a DNA. It's called your HLA markers. A lot of people think it's based on blood type, but it's actually especially like in your DNA. And so when we register people, we take the swabs and we test their DNA. And then when a patient is in need, their doctors test their DNA, and then they sort of cross-match it and see if there are any matches. It's difficult. We say there's around a less than 1% chance of being called as a match after you registered, which is why it's so important for every single person who can, 18 to 55, to get registered. And being called as a match can be as quick as a couple months or 30 years. Once you register, you're in the database until you're 61 years old. And so say you registered when you're like 22 and then you're 42 and it's been 20 years, but you could still save a life. And seeing not only them being able to like smile and live their lives, but seeing their husbands, their children, their parents, their nieces and nephews have more time in life with them, that's one of the most incredible things you could see.
Time for me to swab and register for myself. Takes super quick, so why not? So this is the swab envelope right here. I am gonna put my swab in there. I did this side, right? Time for the other side. Super quick and easy. Post-editing note for Nick. You're supposed to swab for a minute. All right, good. Quick, easy, painless, and into the envelope. Now we'll seal that up and send it off. All right, so we are all set at the DKMS event. Wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I thought there was gonna be people out here donating. I thought I was gonna be able to donate myself, but it was more just an opportunity for the recipients of the donations to connect with each other, share their stories, and I definitely heard some really great ones. Excited to put that stuff together and see it go up on the DKMS account, because it's always great to hear about these people having positive impacts made in their lives by other people's generosity. On my way out, they were serving this too. Having it again, Babcock ice cream, and this is the flavor everyone told me to have. I know when I was at the Union, they said, try Union Utopia. This is our signature flavor. But people out in the street said, you gotta try the orange custard chocolate chip. I'm gonna try it and give you guys a little bonus review specifically for the vlog. Next Eats isn't getting this one. This one's just for you guys, you happy followers. So let me just like get to my car or something and I'll give this a try. But then I gotta hightail it to the airport. I need to drive to Chicago. I have a flight at 6:15, so let's get on the road. All right, so as you can see, this ice cream is already like partially melted. I'm not finishing this whole thing, but it does look pretty good. Look at that. Let's get a bite and try it though. I'm very happy I have napkins in my car right about now. Look at this spoon. Oh God, I'm making a mess on the table. Got a little glob.
Much later.
That orange flavor is nice and tart. I see why this is one of their most popular flavors. That's really good. You get the orange hit right off the start, great zesty orange flavor. Then it finishes off with a nice dark chocolate. I think I like this better than the Union Utopia. It's really good. I mean, it being partially melted helps with this, but it's so soft and smooth too. You can't beat that. just dropped off the rental car in Chicago, on our way to the airport now. Hopefully it's not too hard to find. I have about an hour and a half till my flight, so I should be all good. Got that TSA pre-check locked in, so that's always nice. Unfortunately, didn't have time to try the deep dish pizza today. Really just had to worry about catching my flight. But overall, I'd call this a successful trip. Had some great cheese, some great ice cream, got to hear some amazing stories at the DKMS and University of Wisconsin Health event. Overall, a very successful couple of days, but I'm excited to be back home in Connecticut, sleeping in my own bed tonight. I guess I'll update you guys once I'm in the airport and eventually touch down back home. All right, we touched down back in Connecticut. As you can tell by my crazy looking hair and that little spot on my shirt, I was out like a light that entire flight, but it definitely feels good to be back home, back from Wisconsin. It was a great trip, but it always feels so nice to be back. Obviously, guys, this is my first vlog I'm making here with Happy Productions, so still learning, still figuring things out, but hopefully you guys enjoyed my little journey, and I'm excited to share more of them with you as I continue on my journey here with the company. So with that, have a great rest of your day, everyone. Peace out.